Hello, Ducks fans. Welcome to another episode of the Quack Report. My name is Carter. I'm joined by Nate, as always. If you're new to the Quack Report, welcome. This is our second episode of season 4. If you are not new to the Quack Report, then welcome back. Thank you for coming back. Oh my God, what am I doing? I don't have my lights
If you're an OG, respect. Okay.
I looked at myself. I was like, why do I look shittier than usual? Now we know.
It's because you didn't do your hair, right?
Well, I mean, there's that too, but yeah.
Hair and makeup is just falling off the wayside with this production at this point.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's always been kind of awful, but
Considering there is none.
Yeah. Give me 1 sec. This is on you, buddy.
I think I wear hats. Honestly, why do you think I wear hats so much? I'm literally just talking at this point, so Carter can sit down finally again. There we go.
I missed everything you said, so
That's all right. I just repeated that I wear hats. Like, why do I wear hats so much? A few times, and then
because of your bald spot.
Yeah, exactly. No, it doesn't cover that far down.
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh man.
Well, we have got a very packed episode for you because the Ducks have done a whole one thing since our last episode. So this is going to be a good one.
It's very, very important. Hint the note of sarcasm in my voice. Oh my God.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that a little later on. We're also going to talk some fantasy hockey since this is the time of year where most people are starting to think about their fantasy leagues, getting drafts going and stuff like that. So since we are, well, we're not experts. I was going to say since we're experts, but we're not. We're really not. Since we've done fantasy hockey before, we're going to give some tips if you're new and maybe some more expert tips if you're older to, more. If it's not your first rodeo with fantasy hockey, let's put it that way. And then, we'll go from there. Well, you've got a would you rather for what's quacking, so that'll be
Yes,
fun.
I do. And I know you love those.
Oh, they're fun. Yeah. It's good discussion, honestly. Yeah.
It's great getting like the comments as well as to like what other people would pick for them.
Yeah.
Just like hearing rationales and whatnot. So
yeah.
I saw like the best one though. What was the one that we did before? It was like fighting an orangutan or something like that.
Oh yeah. Fight an orangutan once a year or fight a chicken every time with a sword. Yeah. Yeah. Or fight a chicken every time you got into your car.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
And just like hearing from shout out to Ali, who's a passionate listener of us. Thank you very much. Just being like, maybe we shouldn't fight the orangutans because they're endangered. And I'm just like, oh shit. I promise. Actually, no, I shouldn't promise that. Hold on. Let me double check if this thing is endangered.
If what thing? Oh, for today's would you rather?
Yeah, for today's would you rather.
Gotcha.
I
sure hope it's not.
Okay, no, we're good here. We're good here today. We're not.
Okay.
We're not gonna end a species this time.
That's good. No, I'm interested to know. I really want to know.
We'll get to it soon enough.
Okay. So, before we get into the meat of the episode, the big news that dropped
massive
earlier this week, just want to thank everyone for tuning in. Like we said, if you're new to the show, then welcome. And if you like what you hear, we appreciate a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, or you can do that on Spotify, I think now.
Yes.
Right? You can give the star rating. So if you like what you hear, we would really love that. Yeah. If you don't like what you hear, don't leave the 1-star review. Just don't come back. Or
my favorite is getting it's like I do see the reviews even if they're not displayed on like Apple Podcasts or that kind of thing yet, because you have to get a certain amount before they're like displayed to the public.
Yeah.
But I can see in like in our back end kind of thing of like what things have like people have commented. And I think I talked about this one before, but we got a 1-star review for a Twitter interaction, which is 100% on me, but I'm just like, dude, come on, really?
That dude went out of his way. That's so funny.
You know what? I appreciate the pettiness at least.
Yeah, no, like respect and like credit where credit's due. Yeah. I mean, obviously they're not listening anymore because if they left a 1-star review, they wouldn't listen to this. But maybe they are.
They didn't listen to us anyway, I don't think anyway. So on that note, fuck the Buffalo Sabres, but we love the Straight Up Sabres podcast.
Yeah, those are good guys. So long story short, we would love a 5-star review. We're also on YouTube where you can interact with us on there on our live streams, and we post clips from our episodes as well. If you haven't quite had time to catch up with the latest episode, so we always try and go through the comments there. Not always in a timely manner, but we enjoy interacting with you guys there, or live on YouTube on our YouTube page. Just search the Quack Report. And oh yes, we also have a feedback form which you can check out in the description of wherever you're listening to this: YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, whatever else there is. There's a link to a Google form. We just want your feedback so that we can make the Quack Report bigger and better than ever, because we like to change things up kind of going into a new season, and we didn't really change a whole lot this time around. So we want to change things. We want to make it
I think
better.
we were too busy to change things. Like,
yeah,
we took a break from this basically to like be able to do other things.
Yeah, exactly. So, but you know, once we get into the swing of the season, we want to know what how you guys feel. So we'll leave it open for a month or so. I saw we've got some responses already.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, which is awesome. Thank you. But yeah, it shouldn't take more than like 15-ish minutes. Like, it looks like a lot of questions, but most of them are just like multiple choice kind of stuff. So yeah. Okay, I think that's it. Is that all? Do we have anything else to add?
I don't know.
I know we have notes here, but I don't really follow those. I just kind of go off the top of my head. So
I don't know. How's your week?
It was good. I did some camping on the weekend.
Oh yeah, right, you did.
Yeah, we we went to some small ass town with a small ass campground with owned by some very grumpy old people.
I was ready for like some small ass people, and I'm like, oh god.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, no, they weren't. Well, actually, the one lady, she was very tiny. She was like always power walking. Like in the morning, she was like power walking down the side of the road, and in the evening,
is that just
like,
how she keeps up, or
no, like just for fun. Like that's just what she was doing. Right. Yeah. Well, but yeah. I mean, maybe if she was only like 5 feet tall, so maybe that's just like normal walking for everybody else. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and then there was this grumpy old guy. It was because it was like 30 some degrees here today, Celsius, which for those of you down in the States, it's hot as fuck, basically. So and there was a ton of bugs. There was like these little tiny black bugs that like
those have been everywhere. I know exactly what you're talking about already.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And they just like cover everything. Like my girlfriend's dad, who we went camping with, he has like this big white truck, and it looked black because of all the bugs on it. It was insane. So we had like this little like kind of pop up like tent kind of thing. Like it was mesh just all around, but then the roof was like tent material, you know. Just to like keep the bugs away and keep the sun off, but it was still like just cooking. So we went to move it into the shade, like just technically a few spots over, but we were literally one of 3 people in this campground of like 50 spots probably. So like there was nobody around us, like nobody even close. It was a Sunday afternoon, so like
maybe that's
obviously
why the dude
nobody's
was so
coming.
Grumpy.
Probably, yeah. But like we just went to move like into the shade for a couple hours, and the dude was like so pissy. He was like, "What? You can't just like go moving things around willy nilly in my campground. Like we're running a business here." And we were like, "Dude, like it's a Sunday afternoon. Nobody's coming. It's 30 degrees, like or 35 degrees. These bugs are fucking everywhere. Like we just want to sit in a shaded area and play some dominoes this Sunday afternoon for a couple hours. Is that fine?" And eventually he was like, "Yeah, whatever. That's fine." And then he drove off in his little golf cart, but it was wild. So
I love it.
But the rest of the weekend was good. We I don't know if you're a big musicals guy, Nate.
Depending,
I
guess. Yeah.
We went and saw Come From Away, which I'd never really heard of before, but it's based off of the small town in Newfoundland that all the international planes had to land at on 9/11.
Oh, okay.
So it was really cool. It was like a Broadway play, and yeah, so we saw that in Calgary, and that was awesome. And yeah, and then just generally went camping, so it was pretty good. Yeah.
Cool.
How was your week?
It was all right. Just like I don't know. You aren't in it, as we talked about last time, but I had my first now full week. I've done a loop of school.
Yeah. How did it go?
Not bad so far.
That's
so
good.
The one class I was kind of terrified of hasn't been bad yet, but keyword yet. Guaranteed I'm going to be coming to you for help because I know you've taken the class at some point. But yeah, no, it's been all right. So today I'm just sore just from So yesterday I was, and I'm not trying to sound like a gym bro or anything like that when I'm
But
telling this
yesterday
story.
I was at the gym for
Yeah, so
4 hours.
but I was on the leg press and uh was trying to go for like a new personal best. And I like pressed up and like did my first rep and I was like, that didn't feel right. Like that really felt off. And I'm kind of like looking at foot placement and that. I'm like, okay, no, it is like where I normally put them. And I do another one. And I'm like, yeah, that really doesn't feel good. And then I take another look, like I know like you're kind of looking at your feet anyway, but you kind of like like I took like another look and I'm like, shit, I'm not wearing my knee brace. And I'm like, okay, but I'm already like 2 in. So I just like finished the set and oh man, that was uncomfortable at least. And yeah, I'm paying for it today. Let's put it that way. So
Yeah.
but no, the rest of it's been pretty good otherwise. So yeah, I've
Yeah,
just
that's good.
been yeah, hanging out otherwise and trying to think that I really do anything. Honestly, this weekend I just hung out, just kind of relaxed. So because I know once hockey season hits, that's gonna take up my time and everything like that. So
Yeah,
I'm just kind
and
of
school and
enjoying my
stuff like that.
weekends to
Yeah.
do nothing right now. So
Yeah, yeah, that's
but
fair. That's
it's been
totally
pretty
fair.
nice. So yeah,
Yeah.
I finally finished. It took me like a year just because like I haven't been able to like when I like to play like story based video games. I like to like sit down and play them for a few hours kind of thing, right? Not
Mhm.
like an hour here and there kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and so I was my girlfriend had gotten me Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh,
And I was
that's
also
right.
kind of waiting for the bugs to get figured out, and then I started playing it.
Mhm.
And I finally finished that this weekend.
That's good.
So I did enjoy it. It was good. So but I think for a lot of people is the initial bugs or what
Mhm.
kind of strayed people away from it.
Yeah.
But I did like the story and it was a lot of fun actually. So
Nice, that's good.
yeah, so I'm done that. So now I'm just kind of working my way through the complete saga Lego Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
So having fun with that. So I'm halfway through episode 3 now. So that's one
Okay.
where you can just kind of dive in for like a half an hour or an hour kind of thing just to kill some time, which is great.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're not playing it for the story because you've seen those movies 1,000 times,
yeah,
so
exactly. So I've lost track of how many times I've seen those, but yeah. So, but yeah, I was just kind of hanging out, playing some Xbox this weekend, and yeah,
Nice,
it was
nice.
just kind of relaxed. So it was good.
Yeah, solid. Well, I think we've put this big news off for long enough. I'm sure people are dying to know what it is. Also,
Just
Kaylee,
absolutely dying.
friend here, Kaylee Sites saying, "Love that musical." I'm glad somebody somebody knows what I'm talking about, which is
Okay,
good.
now okay. The one Broadway musical
Oh yeah.
that I'm just throwing this kind of in there that I did have tickets to see actually
Hmm.
when it was touring. It was after it was done on Broadway and it was kind of touring around.
Yeah.
Uh Go figure, the American Idiot musical
Oh yeah.
when that was a thing. But unfortunately our date got canceled and I never got to see that thing.
Damn.
I'm really upset about it actually still to this day, but
Yeah, I bet.
that would have been fun to see though. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. So,
Cool.
I mean, like I did like musicals kind of like growing up or whatever in like elementary school and that, but
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
yeah, no, I still enjoy a good musical every now and then. Greatest Showman was pretty good. Enjoyed
Oh
that.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
I don't think I've actually seen that one,
okay,
but yeah.
okay, actually before I know we're pushing off this massive news, but just this was just a thing that like kind of took our generation a little bit by storm for a second.
Yeah.
You did watch High School Musical as a kid, right? Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
All
I
right,
was just
fair
never
enough.
into it. I
Okay,
mean, like, I'm
that's fine.
sure I've seen like parts of it here and there, like
Yeah.
just like flipping through the channels or whatever, but like I never really sat down and watched it.
So
So,
Disney's going for some like real Inception type shit apparently with it because with Disney Plus they have because they're like there's the main 3 movies and now they have a series on Disney Plus that's High School Musical the series the show or something like that.
yeah,
And I think the premise of that one is it's basically like okay if the school was a real thing and the actual students are putting on a performance of High School Musical. Right. So that's like starting to get into some Inception type shit here. But apparently it's going to go to another level. And this kind of took like by storm for like a day or two. That because they've had some of the cast members, say like Corbin Blue or that sort of thing appear on the show, but as themselves, right?
Oh, okay.
And so apparently, I think it's like the next season is supposed to be the cast is coming back of the original movies to film High School Musical 4. But there's in real life, there's no High School Musical 4 coming. So everyone's it's like, okay, how the fuck does this work?
So it's like a documentary behind the scenes making of High School Musical 4, but it's a
yeah.
I guess like a mockumentary sitcom, like The Office style
Yeah, kind
show. Like, so a mockumentary behind the scenes of a High School 4.
But they're bringing back like all of the original cast, it sounds like. So you got like Vanessa Hudgens, Zac Efron, and like Ashley Tisdale, and actors and actresses like that.
Playing themselves as if they were making a movie that is never going to exist.
Playing themselves as actors, acting as... So it's like Zac Efron is playing himself, playing Troy Bolton for this thing. Like,
oh my God, this is hurting.
Right?
Me. Oh. Was because I never really watched the original movies. Is this kind of like par for the course for these?
No, not even close.
No. Like these original movies were like actual, like taking themselves seriously. Like this is
they were Disney movies, right? Yeah. But yeah, it was okay. Like these are the characters. That's it.
These are the characters. This is the story. This is like real life to them.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're adding just like suddenly like 3 layers on top of it, basically.
That's weird. That's so weird.
Yeah, so it's filming a movie within a TV show, essentially. But nobody knows if an actual High School Musical 4 is happening. Like in real life.
Yeah.
Just further proof that this is all just a simulation. Nothing's real, everybody.
Yeah.
We're going to get to... Here you go. We're going to get into some Joe Rogan territory. Light a blunt, grab a beer. Here we go.
Just because we like to be 100% accurate on absolutely everything on this show.
Obviously.
Just in case you're new here. The name is High School Musical, the series.
There you go. Yeah, not the series, the show. Okay,
yeah,
but yeah. So apparently, apparently that's the thing that's happening. And
all right,
I'm just curious to see like how this works.
Yeah, right.
And what comes of it.
Like instead of trying to come up with a good story, let's just like make people watch because they're confused and they want to be not confused.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Let's get into the massive news.
All right, let's get into the massive news.
Oh, right. I forgot. My keyboard doesn't work. I gotta click on it. Nope.
They're even labeled there.
No, I have to click on the buttons like a peasant. And apparently, if you click on the white key, but underneath the black key, it thinks you want to click on the black key.
Oh, I was talking more about this.
Oh, yeah, no, sorry, I'm clicking on on the thing that my regular keyboard is normally hooked up through. Yeah, I forgot that those were in there, so whatever.
We're just like High School Musical, the series, just layers on layers.
Yeah.
If you want a good discussion about layers, I highly suggest, I forget what
Shrek?
Yeah, 2000, I think it's 2001 Shrek.
Yeah.
Yes. Go watch that if you want to learn about layers. Highly recommend.
Yeah. If you listen to last week's episode, I had issues with my microphone, or we talked about that I had issues with my microphone, but my keyboard, well, actually my keyboard wasn't working either, but no, it was, but it kind of wasn't. I got my microphone figured out, but now my keyboard's not working. So, and Nate almost has a keyboard working. We tried. Yeah.
We're slowly getting there, people. I will have a keyboard, and I will annoy the fuck out of you with it.
And it's going to be perfect. Okay.
It's going to be perfect. Exactly.
Big news of the day, week, whatever. Ducks have signed to a professional tryout. Wait for it. Where did it go?
Damn it. Oh my God.
Oh, did I close it? Idiot. Sorry. No, we'll get there. I just gotta start over.
Fine.
Okay. No, we have production value. Okay. The Ducks have signed to a professional tryout. Nathan Beaulieu. Yep, that's the big
Okay,
news
now
of the day.
play the sound, like the sad sound, please. I seriously thought about titling this episode Nathan Bully Who. But
That's a good name. Yeah.
That does seem a little disrespectful.
Yeah, it's a
Bully
little
Who,
harsh.
considering
Yeah.
he's played over 400 games technically, but
Yeah, which is 400 more games than I've played in the NHL. So
yeah, he's only one away from hanging out with Snoop Dogg after for 420.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the Nathan Bully Who is because well, I mean, besides being I think 17th overall pick yet to Montreal in 2011, not a crazy lot. Offensively, over his career, he's got less than 100 points still in 419 games.
Mm-hmm.
A shit ton of penalty minutes though at 301.
Yeah, he's a big boy, isn't he? Like I remember him mostly with the Jets.
6'2", 200.
Okay, I mean,
Kind of like middle of the line for a defenseman, I'd say.
I mean, you look at this guy and like, if I ran into him in the bar, like I wouldn't want to fight him.
Yeah. But yeah, besides that, so I honestly thought, I'm like, okay, these stats got to be, missing something here, right? Because sometimes, just the basic stats do.
Yeah.
And I was able to find this from Jay Fresh, who, if you're not following him on Twitter, absolutely go do it. For your advanced stats and stuff like that. I did pull up his war card that Jay Fresh had posted back on March 21st, 2022, when he was traded before the deadline. Went from Winnipeg to Pittsburgh. Jay Fresh is normally pretty, with his stats and his captions that follow them, pretty accurate. Nathan Beaulieu, traded to Pittsburgh, is a sub-replacement depth defenseman. Pretty cut and dry. Projected WAR stat, if you don't know what that is, it's wins above replacement. So it's basically like how much do they actually contribute to a win, right? Like if you were to take them out of the lineup, how much of a difference maker is that? 3%.
Okay.
So not like really a contributor whatsoever.
Yeah. So like 100% would be like Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby.
Yeah.
Basically. Like if you take them out of
high 90s, you are an elite player typically.
Yeah. Or it would be like 100% would be Connor McDavid on the Arizona Coyotes. Arizona Coyotes with Connor McDavid, possibility for a win. If you take Connor McDavid off, basically zero.
Yeah, you got a lot less of a chance. So, and just in case Pat Verbeek listens to this, because we know Dallas Eakins does, obviously. Again, listen for the sarcasm in my voice there. If I remember correctly, Sonny Milano had like a 73% for WAR.
Okay.
So he's pretty good.
That's
he's still unsigned. Just saying, you could bring him back. No hard feelings. It sounds like the issue for that, though, is because teams are worried about his concussion history, which I understand. And it's probably, hey, we don't want to take the dollar risk because of past medical history, right? So, but I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens there. But Nathan Beaulieu, there's not really a whole lot here. I thought maybe for a split second, we were talking about this before, like off air. I was like, okay, maybe you're looking at him for like a 7th option, right? As a replacement guy. But I'm taking a look because you're definitely not throwing him into, your top 6 by any means. Like, don't get me wrong. Like ours is not like all-star level or anything like that, but it's decent, right? Daily Faceoff currently has it to be about, say, Cam Fowler, Jamie Drysdale, Vakanainen, Klingberg, and Kulikov, Shattenkirk. That doesn't sound horrible, actually. Like, in theory, not horrible, not great, but not horrible. And then, I was taking a look more at the depth, right? You still have Josh Mahura, Simon Benoit. Like, you still have guys that have done it before, right? I'm not really seeing a point for Anaheim to be looking at him necessarily. I think more what it could be is, hey, we'll give you a chance to show if you can do something. I'm not expecting him to be a top 6 player by any means whatsoever. But it could be like, hey, we'll take a look at you as an option for 7th. And it could very well be as well that, nothing happens with the Ducks and he gets signed elsewhere as a 7th option.
Yeah.
Or an 8th option, right?
Which is fine.
Which is totally possible. So, or, if it does happen with the Ducks, he's probably playing in San Diego.
Yeah.
So, but like, just like, I'm looking at the depth and I'm like, I don't see a place for Bolio at all.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it's like he would have to be absolutely lights out in camp and just like blow everyone out of the water. So.
And I found it really interesting as well because like I guess we kind of went over, like glossed over this. We didn't even really talk about it. Josh Healy and Nicholas Brouillard are also on PTOs for defensemen.
Okay.
Like, why? Like, unless it's just to fill out the San Diego roster, I'm not seeing the reason for this.
Yeah. Honestly,
I don't know. That's just me, though. Somebody, if I'm missing something, somebody please let me know. But like, I'm not really seeing the point here.
Yeah. Like, sorry, I'm honestly not even sure who those last 2 guys are that you named.
Nicholas Brouillard. He's played for San Diego for the last 2 years, so he's basically just looking to try to get a contract again.
Oh, okay.
And then who was the other guy again? Oh yeah, Josh Healy. I believe he was another one of ours.
The name sounds familiar.
Josh Healy is who we we just signed him to a thing from oh my god. I do recognize the name at least. Because he was a Calgary prospect for a bit. That's what it was.
Okay.
Other than that, he's just been on American League deals.
Oh, okay.
Like last year, he played for the Milwaukee Admirals, which is the AHL team of the Nashville Predators. So yeah, it looks like it's probably just AHL filling out more than anything.
Yeah.
So which makes sense. But if you're looking for the Ducks specifically, I see no fit here whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
I was listening to another hockey podcast earlier this week because I obviously don't just listen to our show. Like at all, really, because I live it. But they were talking about, it was back in 2014, before the 14-15 season, the Blues signed Ray Whitney and Paul Bissonnette to PTOs to start the season, and they obviously never made the team. Like they were basically at the tail end of their careers by that point, and I think they played in the AHL that year. I don't know if it was for St. Louis, but they basically just signed them as like kind of like a hype, to be like a hype squad for the Blues for the upcoming season. So, and
didn't St. Louis do that with James Neal last year, or did they just sign him?
No, they just straight up signed him. Well, they signed him to a PTO, and then they did sign him.
Yeah.
And
then he went down and played for Springfield.
Mostly, yeah. I think he played a little bit in St. Louis at like 10 games or something.
Yeah. Mind you, Springfield had a pretty deep run of the playoffs, if I remember correctly. I could be totally wrong on that, but
yeah. So, I mean, I don't really know much about these guys personality-wise, because obviously Whitney and Bissonnette are pretty outgoing guys with their spitting chiclets. So
I got a Biz Nasty, not a Bissonnette, a Biz Nasty jersey, right? So like the t-shirt jerseys.
Yeah.
I got an Arizona one.
Nice.
So it was a friend of mine was like, yeah, we got Biz Nasty shirts at the store, and I'm like, oh, you got Biz and that ones, and he's like, no, they say Biz Nasty. And I'm like, okay, I'm fucking coming to get one. How much? Yeah. He's like $20. I'm like, all right, perfect. I'm coming to get one.
I'll take 2. Actually.
Yeah. So I've been trying to. I tried once or twice to see if I could get Bissonnette to respond, but I cut the sleeves off of it and I use it for a gym shirt. So
nice. But yeah, I wonder if just like signing these guys is just like trying to hype up the defense to have a big year. Like if these guys are just going to show up to practice and just start like absolutely steamrolling everybody just to like get the defense in the hitting mood or something. Like I don't know what it could be, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, just Dallas Eakins is looking down and just goes, "Hey, Klingberg, you only got signed to 1 year. Yeah, you know who's coming to get your fucking spot? Nathan Beaulieu."
Yeah.
If I'm Klingberg, I'm going, "Are you fucking kidding me? I don't care that I'm on a 1 year deal. Like, get fucked."
Yeah. So, yeah, whatever. We'll see what happens.
Drysdale, you want to lose your spot to Nicholas Brouillard?
Dude, can you imagine if that fucking happened?
Oh my god, that's where I would be like all hands on deck. Get Eakins out of there.
Heads would roll, dude.
Heads would roll.
Oh my god.
Pat Verbeek would come into Eakins' office like the coach from Letterkenny. Start fucking kicking everything.
Yeah.
He'd be that gif of the panda that just like picks up the keyboard and just starts smashing it on the desk. You fucking did what? Oh,
well,
my god.
That's I think enough talk on today's massive news because I think we're still letting it.
Massive.
We're still just letting it sink in, you know.
Yeah.
So
I'm not over it. It's insane. It's the highlight of my day. Seeing that Nathan Brouillard was signed to a PTO.
Well, on the other side, we're going to have a little bit more of a interesting talk. We're going to discuss some fantasy hockey a little bit here. So our first sponsor is going to be great for that with DraftKings. And, use promo code THPN. And then obviously sponsored by Raycon as well, new sponsor of the Hockey Podcast Network this year. And yeah, we'll see you guys on the other side of the break for some fantasy hockey talk.
The NFL's opening week was action-packed and is just getting started. Get ready for week 2 of touchdowns, big plays, and even bigger wins at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. Want more action? Everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. It's really quite simple. This Sunday, bet on any NFL team to win. If your team leads by 10 at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. So, what are you waiting for? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use the promo code THPN to get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. Again, that's code THPN, as in the Hockey Podcast Network, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Lately, I've been listening to a lot of Jimmy Eat World's Sweetness to get me back into the duck season spirit, and it's been great. One of those reasons it's been so great to listen to, it's because of my Raycon wireless earbuds. Raycon's everyday earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. With optimized gel tips for the perfect in-ear fit, these earbuds are so comfortable and they will not budge. Raycon gives you 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. Raycons are priced just right, so you get the quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. It's no wonder Raycon's everyday earbuds have over 50,000 5-star reviews. I personally love my Raycon headphones for at the gym. With their noise isolation feature and bass boost sound profile, which is one of 3 available, along with its IPX6 water and splash resistance, they are my go-to earbuds when I'm breaking a sweat. So if you want a pair of these awesome earbuds, go to buyraycon.com today and use the code THPN15 to get 15% off of your Raycon order. Again, that's code THPN15 at buyraycon.com to score 15% off your order.
So I just realized, because we dropped it today.
Oh yeah.
We're putting out a thing here.
Okay.
EA Sports, please give the people what they want. Please give the people what they want. That's obviously the Quack Report edition of NHL 23. Give the people what they want.
That's I love how that turned out. That turned out
I
so
do
good.
too.
Yeah.
Like the whole point, like the whole idea of like, oh yeah, I was gonna throw up a poll. Like, oh yeah, should we recreate this? And you all voted and said like heavy favorite of yeah, do it. So we did an entire photo shoot just to recreate this photo in the first place.
Yeah. For the record, I did vote. Let's leave it to the pros, just because I really didn't.
Oh,
you
were one of them.
Yeah, I was. Mostly because I thought it was funny, but also I was like, do I really want to go get pictures taken? Like, I don't really like pictures, but I guess because
your hair looks good, man.
I made sure that I did it up all nice.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So
I just can't believe we had to go all the way down to Southern California just to get a fucking picture.
I know, right? Photoshop is a wonderful thing. If you're not exactly sure what we're talking about, go check out our Instagram or Twitter, and you'll be able to find the image that we're talking about here. So
yeah, it's a good one. I mean,
we did at least do other photos.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
just that.
Yeah, we got some good photos, so we can use it for promo. And I'm sure I know for a fact that some of them can like be good meme potential for the season.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, there's
the one specifically in the penalty box.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. I was like, there's going to be something there.
I already used it as a meme today in the one group chat I'm in.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because it's like it's a Flames one, and so I put that one. It's like when Adam Fox comes to play in Calgary with the Rangers. Might be like Matthew Tkachuk this time. So
yeah, or it could be a good could be used for Jay Beagle as well, I think.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, when Jay Beagle and the Arizona Coyotes come to town.
Yeah.
When you have to go play at a university arena.
Dude, did you see the fucking ticket prices?
Okay, no, I think we
Holy
talked about
shit.
like when they kind of put out a feeler, maybe like this was like maybe a year ago or something like that.
This is someone in a fantasy league that I'll probably talk about in a sec here. Where the fuck did it? It's in a Discord, so there's just like 1,000 fucking channels, and I don't know what any of them are. But
I think I saw actually what you're talking about. Wasn't it like buy a beer at Honda Center or
no, sorry, this is for in Arizona. Why can't I find this now?
Okay, I think I saw this, but it was like, do you want to buy a beer at Honda Center or buy tickets to the Coyotes or something?
Oh,
like
I see.
that?
I see.
I think that's what it was, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. Here it is. Okay. So one of these people in the Discord was planning a trip to Arizona in December and thought like, wow, well, let's catch a game down there. So yeah. So he says, this is the cheapest price I could find for 5 tickets to a game versus Buffalo. Arizona versus Buffalo in December at ASU. This is the Den, section 114, row P. So like, and like there's only one bowl really. So
yeah.
So I don't know exactly where that is, but row P isn't exactly like glass front. Tickets are $264 American per ticket. $264 to watch Arizona versus Buffalo in a college stadium.
It's like row 17 about.
Okay.
Yeah, P is the 17th letter of the alphabet.
Maybe.
I think, yeah.
Yeah. He then said, I can get tickets to the same game in Buffalo, 12 rows off the ice for $41 a seat.
Jesus Christ.
So like 264 isn't a lot for us, because if we want to go to Calgary or Edmonton and get like decent seats, that's $264.
Yeah.
Like even like just general, like, you know, you can see the ice, second bowl seats are easily $250 for
that's like mid to lower of the second bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. And it would be against a team like, say, Washington or New York. So not like a big game, but like it would still be a good game. But this is Arizona versus Buffalo for $264 US
per ticket.
Nuts. Yeah.
Jesus.
Someone else did some more digging here. Average was $90 a ticket, and is now $170 a ticket.
They got to be offering student discounts.
They have a 400 seat student section where tickets are only $25 to $50, which is
Okay,
decent.
that's decent. Yeah,
Yeah, and because it's college, like it's just all lower bowl, so
yeah,
it's
yeah. That's better. But imagine, like you're sitting beside the student section that paid $25 for their ticket. Like there's just a staircase between the two of you.
yeah,
Right. That guy paid $25. You paid 260.
yeah,
You're in
right.
the exact same row. You have almost the exact same eye line. Christ.
Yep.
I mean, good on like doing a student discount, right? Like otherwise you're really kicking yourself in the ass basically. But like
Yeah, I would be curious to know like what a ticket cost at the old Coyotes stadium, because there's no way it was 264.
Bro, definitely not. I would imagine, but
So I mean, I think they're probably charging more because, well, A, there's less seats, so supply and demand.
Yeah.
But B, also people are like, you know what? I want to know what an NHL game is going to be like at a 5,000 seat
arena,
college arena.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it'll
Maybe
be interesting. Like I never thought I'd say that I'd be like, I want to watch the home opener for the Arizona Coyotes.
Mhm.
Right? Like that's not something I ever thought I'd say. But just for this circumstance, because I want to see what that atmosphere looks like. And just like what it all looks like.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wonder if NHL 23 is gonna have that arena, or if they're just gonna like have like the old Arizona arena still.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't
It'll be
know.
interesting.
Yeah, but it'll be interesting for sure. So I just wanted to look when their home opener was. It'll be against Winnipeg on October 28th.
Jets 1.0 and Jets 2.0. All right, I like
Yeah.
it. For a new era of Arizona Coyotes hockey.
Yeah, which is a Friday night.
Damn.
Fortunately, there's a Ducks game that night, so this game will be second on the slate probably. But yeah,
thank God I have 3 screens here.
Yeah.
All the hockey.
Okay, well, I think let's get into the fantasy hockey talk here. We won't make it too long, but we'll try and cover as much as we can here. Yeah. Well, yeah, you can still say things, Nate.
Also say things, but you're taking the reins on this one. Yeah. So, Mr. Commissioner.
Even though it's not unplugged, we don't really have and we don't have really music for it. But I'll play the unplugged theme for it.
We haven't heard it in a while. Actually, you know what? That does work.
It kind of works.
Yeah, it does work.
That's what I was thinking. We're gonna get kind of nerdy here. So, yeah, if you're looking to start a fantasy hockey league or get into a fantasy hockey league this upcoming season, this is the podcast for you, right here. I didn't prepare at all. And that is lesson number 1 for fantasy hockey: is don't prepare. Because whatever you prepare is going to get fucked up by somebody else. And that's just a fact. That's just how she goes.
Okay, now let's take that up a step, actually, and give that to NHL GMs.
Yeah.
Don't prepare. Just go to the draft floor.
Yeah.
And you're just going to hide your eyes and just, this guy. Okay, go draft him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, unless you have the first overall pick, you don't need to plan. And if you have the first overall pick, you also don't need to plan because you just take Connor McDavid. There's no other option. Honestly, if you get the second overall pick, then you can plan. Because you're like, do I want McKinnon, Crosby, Draisaitl,
Matthews, Ovechkin,
Zibanejad, Vasilevsky, if you want to get wild.
Yeah. If you see a goalie go in your first round, buckle up.
Oh boy. Yeah. But lesson 1 is don't prepare. I just mentioned the Discord that I was in, and we just finished a draft for 32 teams. It's a 32 team league.
Oh, Jesus.
We have 6 keepers every year, but our draft is still 13 rounds long. So we go fucking deep into it. And like I would set a queue for my pick, but because I finished like I think 4th last season, it wasn't good. It was not good at all. I would pick, and then because it's a snake draft, you have to go through all of the other, 28 teams to finish round one. And then it reverses. So then you have to go through those same 28 teams again.
Oh, no.
So there's no point in setting a queue because you're like, oh,
They're
this
all
guy's
gone.
available, this guy. But like 28 times 2 is quick math, 56. Like your guys are going to be gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no point planning. There's just no point.
This just makes me want to do like fantasy rosters now on NHL just to see what I can build.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's basically what that would be.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? 32 teams and you have like every player available. Yeah.
Yeah. Like our rosters are 17. Is that right? No, 19. Because we did
Yeah, so that's almost a full roster.
Almost, yeah. Like it's enough that if guys get injured, you can like pick up you can still pick up like NHL regulars, like fourth line guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so the waiver wire is not like totally empty, but like I'll go through some of the guys that were drafted in the last round, and then we'll get back to more tips. I took Tanev with my last round pick, Chris Tanev, and nobody drafted him because he was supposed to be injured for the start of the season.
I was like, really? But yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Olin Zellweger was another last round pick. So it's more of just like if he plays kind of thing.
Yeah. That could work out.
Yeah. Because it's also, we're probably getting way too advanced for basic people here, but it's also a weekly lock league. So you just set we have 5 on the bench. So you set your 14 best guys for like the whole week. So it's not like day to day, you're trying to like see, okay, who's playing and I'll put this guy in. So really like if you have no injuries throughout the whole season, the last 5 guys you draft you'll never play them on your roster. So, the draft room's closed. So I actually don't know where to find. Oh, draft results. There it is. We use Fantrax, which is hot garbage.
Okay, because I'm about to use it this year for one league that I joined.
It's the user interface is absolutely abysmal, but like you can do some really cool things with the system, like way more than Yahoo. So like if you really want to get into it, it's great, but like actually using it is. Have you ever tried to use an Android phone? Because I know you're an iPhone guy as well.
Yeah.
Using Fantrax after
it's like using
it's like using an Android phone. You're like, what? Why is this not working? It's just it's so dumb. And I know that Android people are gonna come at my throat probably, but like if you've ever just used an iPhone, you know what I mean. So yeah, like last round guys, Casey Cizikas, Zemgus Jurgensens, Ryan McLeod, Derek Grant was a last round pick. So like you're really getting into like the bottom
top line
guys.
Derek Grant.
Yeah. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, the Buffalo goalie. Robin Lehner was a last round pick. Just
because he's not going to play this season.
Yeah. Alex Turcotte with LA. Like it's more just the shot in the dark kind of guys. But
yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, long story short, don't bother planning who you're gonna pick. Like,
okay, now I'll say don't bother planning if you're in a massive league like that, like 16 or more teams. I think if you're like that sweet spot of like 8 or 10 teams, plan. I think plan.
Well, yeah, you can kind of plan pick to pick, I guess. Like if you're drafting in the middle, because then it's only 10 spots between your picks, so you can just like say, oh, these are the 12 guys I would be interested in, and then as you get closer, you can be like, okay, well, these are the guys that are available. So let's see. So yeah, I mean, like there's some planning, but like if you want to try and plan out your whole roster at the beginning, it's not going to
quite happen. So, but there's definitely guys that you can be like, okay, maybe somebody's not going to pick them right away. So you can kind of, in a way, like what real NHL GMs do is like, okay, like he's kind of projected to be in this area, and you can kind of like figure out where you want to select guys or that kind of thing and try. So
yeah,
I know I've been able to do that a couple times. So
yeah, I sorry, I just want to pull up is this the one I want? Yes. So
number one, don't plan.
Yeah, I've just pulled up the draft. Or the pre-draft rankings on Yahoo. So this is basically the order that it would be presented to you in if you joined a draft. And I'm not going to obviously read through all the names, but I'll just kind of give a highlights overview. So obviously Connor McDavid is kind of the guy that gets picked
first.
Not first. Like there's very few leagues. Like his average pick is 1.1. So occasionally he might get picked.
He might be second.
If it's a league full of Maple Leafs fans, then Austin Matthews probably goes, and then McDavid goes. So, and then Draisaitl is second, Matthews is third, McKinnon fourth, and Cale Makar fifth. So really you've got 4 centers in the top 5, and then rounded out by Cale Makar, who's a defenseman. And in fantasy, you generally just have positions like either forward, and you have a certain amount of forwards you play and a certain amount of D, or a certain amount of centers, left wings, rights, defensemen, goalies. Like, so position is important. It's not like you can just draft a center and be like, oh, I'll play him as a defenseman. Like, you could
unless your league, and it all depends on what your commissioner sets as well, right? You can have some leagues that just don't give a shit about position whatsoever.
That's true. Yeah,
but all of the ones that I've been in, at least, they matter.
Most of them have some sort of structure. That's kind of the default for Yahoo. So very few people really change that. But so really for the first round, my advice and what I usually do is I kind of just follow these rankings. So if you're in a 10-team league, basically wherever you end up drafting, say 7th, I would take Mikko Rantanen because he is the 7th ranked guy on here. If I was 6th, it would be Kaprizov. If I was 10th, I would take Nikita Kucherov. Like that's usually what I do. I'll stretch this example just a little bit. So Jonathan Huberdeau is 11th, ranked 11th overall. So if I was in a 12-team league and I was drafting 11th, I would probably go with Ovechkin just because I couldn't bring myself to draft Huberdeau. And like you're kind of looking
because he's a flame now.
Yeah, exactly. Like so you're looking at very similar point totals potentially. Like you're getting a good player either way, right? Or if I was in the league with Nate, I would draft Huberdeau and then I would fleece
try
him
to
in a
trade him.
Yeah, or something like that. Like you can move a little bit. Like if you're coming up on a player you really like, you don't have to just follow the rankings. But
no.
Generally for the first round, that's what I do. I don't know. Is that kind of what you do, Nate? Do you just pick like best player available?
Yeah, it kind of depends. Like if there is a guy that like is available that was maybe looked over or something like that, I'll try to go for it. Unless it's somebody that I know or that, like there's a lot of talk about that is kind of like set up for a big year or that kind of thing, or whatnot. Like they'll kind of be more like a second or third, maybe, or like 4th round pick maybe.
Yeah. But in the first round or two,
the first round, is probably it's kind of keeping that, unless there is a guy that I see coming up that I'm like, okay, he's not that guy ranked, but I want him specifically.
Yeah. So like in this case, if we were in a 12-team league and you were picking 9th or 10th, instead of going for like Shesterkin or Kucherov, you might go for Huberdeau.
Just as a hypothetical. Yeah.
Yeah. Just because you're like, I like Calgary. I think Huberdeau is going to have a big year, kind of thing.
Yeah. Just, and kind of depending as well on, again, it's whatever your commissioner sets, but typically, your normals are goals, assists, power play points, shorthanded points, right? I'll kind of I'll try to like figure out, okay, who's kind of good in certain areas or that sort of thing. So say if I really want to make sure that I get assists every week, I might go for Huberdeau, right? Because the guy literally set a record last year for assists by a left winger.
Yeah.
So
that's a good way to ensure you win that category.
Yeah.
Because I guess we didn't really get into that either. So if you're new, you probably don't really even know how those work. In most leagues, kind of the most basic way to do it is you're paired up with somebody each week, and then paired up against somebody as like in a matchup. And then for all the categories, like Nate said, we'll just say goals, assists, power play points, shorthanded points, and shots. We'll keep it to 5 for now. Most have more, but then all of your guys just accumulate those stats, and you get 1 point for every category that you're winning. So if I had more goals than Nate, I would get a point. If he had more assists than me, he would get a point. So we'd be tied 1-1, and it just goes through that way.
So there was another league that I did last year that was there was points allocated to certain things. So say like a goal was worth 2.5 points.
Yeah.
In your thing, right? And you're not playing head to head against everybody. You're just playing the season out. And that's more kind of like, that one feels a lot more like when you're I don't know if I'm the only one to do this, when you like order a package, right? Like something in the mail, and right away you're checking the
tracking on it,
the tracking and whatnot, and like following it, right? Like that's a league where you kind of do that, right? Like you're seeing how you did that night and if you jumped spots or that sort of thing. So but that's another way that I've at least done. So
and you can do points head to head. You can do categories not head to head. I think I don't know. There's tons of options, but I think the categories, so goals, assists, shots, whatever, head to head is kind of the most common way with Yahoo that I've seen. But
if you have a say in any of your points or anything like that, make sure your commissioner does not have penalty minutes as one of them, or penalties. It's the most ridiculous thing, right? Like, why do you want guys on your roster that basically get told to sit in the penalty box for most of a game? Doesn't make sense to me.
I think it was useful when you had like actual enforcers in the NHL that their job was just to accumulate penalty minutes. It's really not.
It doesn't work anymore.
No, like it just made me excited when, like, say Connor McDavid, if I had him on my team, got a penalty, because I was like, well, at least I get something out of this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? I would say for the first round, if you're not really sure, either take your favorite player if it looks like they're coming up on being drafted, or just take best player available. You really can't go wrong with that strategy. One thing I like to do in the first 3 rounds is I like to get a forward, a defenseman, and a goalie. That's generally how my first 3 rounds play out.
Kind of set your core. Yeah,
so that I know I have one guy that can be reliable at that position for the whole season, hopefully, barring any injuries. But because goalies, obviously, they're the only ones that can get goalie stats, so they're very important. Forwards are good for goals and assists and sometimes shots. Defensemen are good for hits and blocks, also shots, assists. Generally, so like,
but then you have a guy like Cale Makar who's higher up in the projected rankings because he also gets goals and assists, right?
Yeah, exactly. So it's good to have kind of that balance of all the stats, but also if you end up with Cale Makar in the first round, like you're kind of way ahead of everybody else because you have a defenseman that puts up the same numbers as forwards in the later rounds. And and there's a sharp drop off with defensemen eventually. Like, I'd say once you get to, like, I don't know, maybe past the top 50. I'm just kind of trying to look here. Yeah, like the 52nd ranked defenseman is Morgan Riley. And so, like, not a bad forward, but like also not one that's going to get you a shitload of points. Zach Werenski, Darnell Nurse, Heiskanen, and Burns are kind of at the bottom of the top 100. So like they're not going to get you a lot either, really. So like there's a sharp drop off because the forwards around there are guys like Jordan Kyrou, Tim Stützle, Josh Norris, Toivo Teravainen, Patrice Bergeron, right? So like they're higher. They're still really good forwards, but the defense are a lot lower. If that makes sense. So,
I'll throw out one more thing there. Just we talked about it earlier because you were talking about how you go like forward, defenseman, goaltender.
In some order, not necessarily that exact order, but
But My suggestion now, I mean, and again, like we're talking, if you're taking this a little bit more seriously, if you're just having fun, just go have fun, right? Do whatever the fuck you want for this.
Yeah.
Some people, are just gonna pick their favorite player in the top, like in the first round, right? That's totally fine. Go for it.
Do it.
So, if you really, really want Kevin Shattenkirk in the first round, go for it. I don't suggest it, but go for it.
Nobody can stop you. Absolutely, nobody can stop you.
Unless somebody else takes him, and then I'm kind of wondering what the fuck is going on.
Unless you're in a league of Kevin Shattenkirk fans,
yeah,
no one can stop you. Yeah,
no,
actually,
exactly.
The 32 team league I'm in is like full of Leafs fans. Like I would say
all the Leafs are gone right away.
Yeah, I would say probably a third of them are Leafs fans. So like 10 of the 32 teams. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say that makes sense. So last year, Michael Bunting obviously had a great season with the Leafs. And so he kind of became a meme in like our Discord. Like Michael Bunting was known as the GOAT anytime a player had like a 4-point night. Like say like Connor McDavid has like a 5 or 6 point night. It's like, oh man, he really went full Michael Bunting tonight. Right? like that was kind of the meme. Or like, hey, this guy might be as good as Michael Bunting one day or whatever. So this year, everybody wanted Michael Bunting. Like Michael Bunting went way higher than he should have been. And if you're asking yourself, who the hell is Michael Bunting? Exactly. Like you're probably not going to draft Michael Bunting in your league.
He finished third in Calder votes. Trevor Zegras finished second. Yeah. Just putting that out there.
That's true. Yeah. So I guess you might know. But like odds are if you're in like an 8 or 10 team league, you're probably not going to like you might have the option of drafting Michael Bunting, but like you're really not going to. But if you really like, I don't remember where I was going with that, but if you really want to draft Michael Bunting, like go for it. If you're in a league full of Michael Bunting fans, like he might be the first overall pick. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Where I was going with it though, if you are taking it a bit more seriously, as soon as you see a goaltender drafted, look to the goalies.
Draft a goalie.
They will go fast. I don't care if you had Trevor Zegras lined up for the third round, right? If you're in a league that's possible, right? I don't care. If you're taking this like semi seriously and you see a goalie go, you're looking at goalies right away because they will go fast, especially the elite ones, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The exception, I will say the exception to that is Andrei Vasilevsky because he usually always goes in the first round.
Fair.
And there's better players that you can still take. You don't need to rush into the goalies. Actually, Igor Shesterkin also, his average pick is 8.8 and Vasilevsky's 8.7. So if Vasilevsky or Shesterkin go in the first round, that's fine. Like, there's no reason
second round and later.
Yeah, but once you see like Ilya Sorokin, Jacob Markstrom, Yusei Saros, Marc-Andre Fleury, Jake Ottinger, once you see one of those guys go, you got to take a goalie. You just have
Did you say John Gibson?
I did.
How dare you?
Dude, John Gibson's average draft position. Oh my God, where is it?
Whoops. That's not where I was going with that, but
John Gibson's average draft position is 177th.
To be fair, he had a rough year last year.
He did.
His goal save above expected was like -14.
He has basically the same average draft ranking as Carey Price, who's not even going to play this year.
Yeah. Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah. Anthony Stolarz has a higher average draft ranking on Yahoo than John Gibson, our backup goaltender.
Wow. All right.
So that's insane. I actually didn't realize that. That's absolute madness.
Okay, I'm going to cut a little bit deeper then. Just personal. Where's Jack Campbell?
74th overall.
Okay, it's not horrible, but I thought he's supposed to lead Edmonton to a Stanley Cup. Okay, I'm just joking around with you.
Yeah, most goalies are 4th, 5th, or 6th round, which is where Jack Campbell is. So he's still higher up there.
But yeah, as soon as you see a goalie not named Shesterkin or Vasilevsky, it is fire sale. Go for it.
yes, that's exactly it.
Do it
because they go quick. People panic. They're like, "Oh yeah, I need a goalie," and then so like you see 3 goalies in a row, and people are like, "Oh my God, there's no more goalies left. I got to take a goalie," and it just goes, and everybody takes a goalie. And if
And
you're
it very quickly goes by the wayside, especially with tandems now, right? It's even harder to pick goalies, I find, in fantasy.
yeah, because you want a guy that is going to start 60-ish games, 60 plus
Yeah.
games in a season. But when they're splitting them 40 and 40, like you need to draft more goalies to be able to cover those spots, because with goalies, most leagues have a minimum limit that goalies need to play.
Yeah.
Usually 3 appearances in a week, which doesn't sound like a lot. But if you have, we'll say, I'm just picking lighter goalies. If you're stuck with only Capo Kakinen and Cal Peterson, San Jose and LA goalies, and so very rough.
Yeah.
Like both of those guys are going to be splitting starts. And if Jonathan Quick and whoever the other goalie with San Jose is, James Reimer, are on a hot streak, like your goalies might not play. And then you're out 4 or 5 categories for the week.
Like you just lose those points. You don't get them. So
yeah, nothing happened. They go to your opponent. So you're already down 4-0. It's So it's tough. So that's why you need a good goalie that's going to get a lot of starts. So yeah, draft a forward, draft a goalie, draft a defenseman. Make sure you have at least one of those. And then after that, you can kind of just do whatever you want. Make sure you keep your positions balanced. Like if you're drafting all forwards after the initial 3, then it's like, okay, maybe I should start taking some defensemen here because the good defensemen are gone and I'm going to be stuck with Nathan Beaulieu, for example.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So what have we touched on so far? Carter says don't plan. I say plan depending on how big of a league you're in.
Depending.
If you're in a smaller league, try to plan. Is my suggestion. So unless you're just going for it, have fun.
Yeah.
As soon as goalies start going that are not Shesterkin or Vasilevsky, pick up a goalie.
Yep.
What else? Forward, defense, goalie. Try to get those in the first 3 rounds. So then you're at least set in one position for one spot at least.
Yep.
What am I missing here?
I think that's kind of always touched on.
There's a 4th thing, I think.
Was there? Maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah. I will say that we kind of talked about it earlier, that I might draft Jonathan Huberdeau because I know Nate really wants Jonathan Huberdeau, so then I can trade it for him. That's not a bad strategy. Yeah. If you're in a league where you know the other people and who their favorite players or their favorite teams are, and if you're not totally sure who to pick, or there's no one that really excites you and you think, they'll be there next time, you can take one of those players that you think has trade value to some of the other guys, and you can kind of use that to your advantage a little bit, because trying to trade in a fantasy hockey league is very hard because everybody wants to try and win the trade.
Yeah.
Especially in a smaller league.
Especially if you're in a keeper league, because you can trade draft picks as well.
Yeah.
Like that, there's one league I had we were trading draft picks, and the main one that we do, we don't have draft picks for that one, do we?
No, we do. We do.
Oh, we do. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess our league just doesn't normally trade the draft.
Not really. No.
But I was in one that draft picks were going. It's like one player with 3 picks, basically, just to try to balance things out and everything like that. So especially later into the season, guys were just trying to the guys who are at the bottom were just trying to rack up first and second round picks and whatnot. So mind you, though, that was a keeper league plus a buy-in. So there's money on the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, where was I going with that? I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't remember.
That's okay. So yeah, you can always pick up guys that you think will be good trade bait later on in the season to try and get players that you want from them because you know that they really want this player.
Go get your John Klingberg.
Yeah.
Not actually John Klingberg, just your version of John Klingberg.
Yeah. Do you kind of want to talk like sleeper picks for a little bit here?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
I haven't actually dived into the rankings of that yet, but trying to think of some guys just off the top of my head here.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, a sleeper is generally a younger player who could have a really good season, but they haven't really played in the NHL yet, so you don't really know what to expect from them. Or it could be an older player that's maybe fallen off the last couple of years. They got traded in the off season, so like they could have a good bounce back sort of thing. So say a guy like Mason McTavish could be a sleeper pick because there's no guarantee he's going to be playing, so he tends to fall down the rankings quite a bit. People haven't really heard of him if they're not hardcore fans like us, or if you're not a Ducks fan. So if you're getting to the last couple rounds and you're not really sure who to take, Mason McTavish will likely be available. You could take him and just kind of keep him on your roster so that if he does make the team or gets called up later, you have him and you can play him to be able to get a lot of points, like because he could put up Trevor Zegras type numbers this season, but you got him 6 rounds after Trevor Zegras was drafted, or 8 rounds or whatever.
Yeah. And I think I even did that with Zegras, not last season, but the season before.
Yeah.
I think I did that actually. I picked up Zegras like late and it worked out pretty well. So the NHL website actually does have an article on their top 10 sleeper picks for the 22-23 season. So if you want to go check that out. And there are some still like notable names on there that could be considered sleeper picks because people aren't thinking of them. Like say Tyler Toffoli for Calgary there.
Yeah. Had a really rough like second half of the season after he got traded. So
Alex Tuck is another one that they're listing here from Buffalo.
Because he finished the season very strong. Tage Thompson, I would put up there as well, just as we're talking about Buffalo.
Yeah. So, but I mean, they have a thing as well of like top 10 sleeper picks or that sort of thing. One for myself could be, I'm trying to think of like within our division here. Andrew Mangiapane for the Calgary Flames could potentially be one, right?
Because he could play quite high in the lineup as well.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not even like, oh, this guy's just going to suddenly get a bunch of points, right? It could be even just this guy plays higher in the lineup and is able to get stuff from that.
Actually, sorry, just while we're on that brings me to something that I learned. Well, we learned in our first few years of a fantasy league is if one guy is really going off, it's beneficial to have his line mates. So like, what was the line? It was in LA, and this was like quite a few years ago, back when Toffoli was obviously there, but it was Tyler Toffoli, Tanner Pearson, and there was one other guy, and that line was just on fire.
Just going for it, yeah.
And the other guy, he wasn't like a super big name, but because Pearson and Toffoli were having such good seasons and this guy had chemistry with them, some like nobody was like had fantasy value just because he racked up assists because he was feeding Tyler Toffoli, who was just having an insane season.
I remember it was the 18-19 season, and I drafted them this way as well. I had the entire Calgary Flames top line of Elias Lindholm, Sean Monahan, and Johnny Gaudreau.
Yeah.
And that just racked me up points. So because they were just going off. So if anybody managed to have that Flames top line last year of Tkachuk, Gaudreau, and Lindholm, holy shit.
Yeah, I think getting Tkachuk and Gaudreau together
that'll
be tough, but
that'll be interesting this year too, right? So like, does their stock go higher or fall depending on the Columbus and Florida at this point? So it'll be interesting to see how it kind of works out in our own leagues and everything like that. But
yeah, exactly.
Trevor Zegras honestly could be a sleeper pick. You already said Mason McTavish.
Yeah.
Jamie Drysdale for power play points. If we're looking just at Ducks, right?
Even John Klingberg just for the power play points.
John Klingberg for sure. He'll probably be seeing power play time. You would imagine, right?
I don't know why else you would bring him in, really.
Yeah.
Besides be a power play guy and to mentor Drysdale in that role too. So
yeah, exactly. So those are a few that I would say for Anaheim at least. So Ryan Strome could be a guy to look at. He's Daily Faceoff has him projected as the second line center right now. So
yeah, and I mean
he'll still be beneficial.
he'll probably get time with Troy Terry and Trevor Zegras as well.
Yeah.
Which could be good. So and with how good Troy Terry was last season, like anybody who ends up on a line with Troy Terry is a good pick for later rounds.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, that's just like a few duck sleeper picks that I could think of off the top of my head, right? It is some of just like those young guys that are
they're not like household names.
Yeah, they're not the fantasy household names even, right? So
yeah.
But
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any others. I guess like guys from like first round picks from this last year. So like Shane Wright would be a good pick. Derek Grant sleeper pick. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shane Wright. Who's the other one? Yaroslav Slavkovsky, whatever his first name is. Yeah. He's I'm blanking on his first name. It's like Juraj or something. Oh, no, it's gonna bother me. What's his first name? Slavkovsky.
Yeah, Yarrow.
Yeah, is that how it is? How it's pronounced?
So. Just
Juraj.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Slavkovsky. Yep.
Slavkovsky. Anyways, Matty Beniers was called up late in the season last year, and he had a really strong finish.
Oh, and he should be on the Seattle Kraken roster this year.
He should be, exactly. But I think, like, I don't think he's gonna have like a high average draft pick.
Yeah,
Matty Beniers. Let's see, where is he going? Oh, it doesn't really. That's dumb. Thanks, Yahoo, for absolutely no information. But yeah. Anyways, he had 9 points in the 10 games he played last season. But yeah, it's doesn't want to show me odds. Is that what I want? No, that's like sportsbook odds. Matty Beniers. Either way, he could be a good later round pick, is my point. I don't know. Are there any other sleepers that come off the top of your head here?
Trying to think even for like backup goalies.
Oh, Owen Power with Buffalo.
Yeah, Owen Power could be for Buffalo.
For backup goalies, I'm kind of biased with Stuart Skinner because I think he could earn himself a lot of starts behind Jack Campbell this year. It's it's very possible Jack Campbell plays 60 games, but it's also possible they split him 40 and 40 depending on how it goes. So
yeah.
Georgiev with Colorado, he's going to be more of the starter, but I think a lot of people are kind of looking over
kind of what now. So
yeah, right.
It'll be interesting there, but
yeah, the goalies, Matt Murray in Toronto, that could be a interesting one. I know you hate Matt Murray, and I would never draft him either. But
okay, no, it's not that I hate Matt Murray. I just don't.
And I think
more people are seeing it now. I just don't think he was as good as people thought he was. That's all it was. It's not that I hate Matt Murray or I'm like, out to get him or anything like that. People just kind of put him on a pedestal, and I was like, no, put him down a peg.
Yeah, that's
5
fair.
or 10.
Yeah. Okay, here it is. Matty Beniers, average draft position, 158th overall. So you're looking like in a 10-team league.
That's like
end of the 16th round.
Yeah.
15th, 16th round. Yeah. So like he might not even really get there, but like he'd be a good later round pick is my point. So
yeah.
But Matt Murray in Toronto, change of scenery there. I mean, he's got a good team in front of him again. So similar to in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Nate confirmed Matt Murray hater. Yeah, he's got a good team in front of him, like in Pittsburgh when he won the Cups. So, I mean, he could appear to be as good again, right?
Yeah, potentially.
So, yeah, thinking about things like that, like what team is somebody playing on? That it can be
That can be a huge thing
that can be
well,
huge.
right?
And a lot of people are like, oh, well, Matt Murray had an awful season last year, so I'm not going to draft him. But he's on Toronto this year, which is way better than Ottawa was last year. So
yeah, exactly.
so yeah, I don't know. I don't think I really have any other like fantasy hockey tips for going into the season. But
Oh, I got one last one.
yeah, go for it.
Make sure you got a funny pun name.
Oh, that's classic.
That is top priority.
Yeah.
Before you even look, if you are going to be one of those people who plan, before you even like plan out some of your players or that kind of thing that you're looking at to draft to your team, you need a team identity. All right.
Yeah.
I'll give you here. I have we for a lot of ours we use Yahoo, and even for like the network we use Yahoo for draft. Here, so for the THPN fantasy league that I was in, my team name was Gibson of a bitch. Right,
Yeah.
so son of a bitch.
But Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson, exactly. In the main one that we play in, it was Kachuk and Knuckles. And the one that I had paid into, we were the McFlurries, but it was like Marc-Andre Fleury. And I had that picture of him in the sunglasses when he was in Chicago for that moment in time. So always have a good fantasy name.
Yeah.
All right.
I personally like to do mine off of like a well-known player that I draft on my team.
Yeah.
So usually I'll have a lame name for the draft or whatever last year's name was, but
and then you update it. Yeah.
Then I update it year to year. So I was actually I think last year I kept it because I really liked it, but I was Girouminati, like Illuminati.
Well, I'm glad you kept it because I did that logo for you too.
I think that's why I kept it. Oh yeah, I had Makar in our THPN league last year, so I was I don't know how to say it, but it's like Der Makar, like the Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah,
it's like it's like Der Makar or something like that. It's supposed to be like if you said Jamaica with a Boston accent is apparently what it is, but it said Makar. So Dude, Where's My Car I've seen before, like Dude, Where's My Car.
Yeah.
What are some other popular ones? No Regretskis.
Yeah. You can get into some really like not safe for work ones as well.
Oh yeah. yeah, absolutely.
What's the one in like our main Your Mom's Dry? but it's like Drysidle. Yeah.
Yeah. Like DRAY or DRAI, yeah. So yeah, that's fun. That's absolutely a requirement because, like you said, it's all about having fun. So
exactly,
you can listen to what we just talked about for the last half hour or so, but if you just want to have fun and just draft players that you like, just do it. Go for it.
Yeah, exactly. Have fun. That's the main thing. Just have fun.
Yeah. And if you
unless you're in a keeper league for money, then grind everybody and fucking win.
Yeah. In which case you probably didn't take anything away from this because
you know what you're doing. But, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
but the one
that I was in, I won like 150 off of being third place. So like there was money in that one.
Yeah.
So
see, Allie's got it figured out. Lots of pun opportunities with Z Grass.
Okay, if I take Zegras in either one of our leagues, I'm taking that name.
Yeah.
Thank you, Allie.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. You already know how to do fantasy hockey, Allie. You're set up. That's perfect. So, yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to say. Oh yes, if you really just want to piss people off because you're like, I don't know, I just kind of want to get into fantasy hockey. Like you guys at work are talking about it, or like your buddies talking about it, and you've never done it. All you have to do is just don't show up to the draft. Let the computer just auto draft your team for you, and then do better than them in any given week. Like you can adjust your team here and there because you'll just be known as the guy that sat there with his Excel spreadsheet until midnight the night before, crunching the numbers like, oh, I want to take this guy and this is, and then if I take this guy and this guy,
didn't do shit.
Yeah, got absolutely steamrolled by a fucking auto drafted team. There's nothing more fun than that.
Wasn't there a guy last year who he just basically had the draft auto do it for him? Let's put it this way. He picked up Evander Kane before like Evander Kane didn't play until like what, February or March, right?
I don't even think he set his lineups. Like he literally just drafted his team.
And I think
like,
he finished like midway in the pack.
Yeah. So like that's like it's just soul crushing if you lose to a team like that. But it's so funny.
Yeah, and
to witness.
It makes the draft just like unbearable for everybody else because you can see who's like the next projected to go, but you have to sit there and wait the 2 minutes or however long
until it times out. Yeah. This is a good one. I would do a league like this, drafting players based on whether or not I think they tip well at restaurants.
I love that.
Who would go first overall? And if Ali had the first overall pick, who do you think would go? Like basically what I'm asking, who do you think tips the best at restaurants?
That's a nice guy, Marc-Andre Fleury.
Oh,
I'm not trying to be. No. I was like, he's known as a nice guy.
No, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Trying to think who else.
I think like Patrice Bergeron, maybe.
Yeah,
seems like a very humble, just a humble guy.
Not on the ice, but Marchand maybe even. I feel like he'd be like a decent tipper.
Yeah, because he's like one of those guys that's like he comes across as a dick, but like actually is like really.
And it's just on ice, right? So
yeah, exactly.
But
Cale Makar, good tipper. Jamie Drysdale, yeah.
Jamie Drysdale will be a better tipper once he's off his ELC. Cale Makar's having the time of his life.
Corey Perry, I bet he tips well.
Yeah, I could see that.
Corey Perry strikes me as the type of guy to like, to just like go to a fancy restaurant and order
whoever's
like a coffee and like a veggie platter or something like that, and just leave to a $200 tip.
Whoever you absolutely hate as a player is probably the nicest guy you'll ever meet. Honestly.
I don't know if that applies to everybody, but yeah.
for most guys, though, I feel like if they're an ass on the ice, they're one of the nicest guys off the ice.
Yeah.
So
yeah, probably. So yeah. Well, anyways, that is our kind of fantasy hockey tips and tricks, I guess. I don't know. So if you're
sorry. Okay, I got one more.
Mm-hmm.
Be sure to set your rosters for the week.
Oh yeah.
Or even just like per day, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're taking it like semi-seriously, even try to keep up with it. So just a little bit and just like fill in guys who are on the IR, that kind of thing. So
yeah,
it'll say you.
Ali was picking up what I was putting down there. So.
Yeah.
Evander Kane, for those just listening, is most hated player. Logic is not logicking. But yes, setting your lineups. Yahoo has a set active players button. If every Monday you just in the morning you go on, you hit set active players and set it for your whole week. That's really all you have to do.
Yeah.
That's
unless your team just becomes absolutely crushed and Nathan McKinnon and somebody else who's like a high level player. Say Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar, you happen to get both of them. They both go down in 1 week. Definitely be trying to fill those spots with somebody.
Yes. So don't
something
drop
is
them,
better than
obviously.
nothing.
Put them on the IR spot, the injured reserve. Hopefully you have more than one in your league. Most leagues now have 2 or 3, I think, after COVID. So so put them on there, pick up guys off the waiver wire that can, I mean, you won't replace Cale Makar, but hopefully you can get some points.
Okay, I'm seeing this idea here from Ali as well, picking players by how nice I think they look. For the one league that we're gonna do that is like purely just for fun, because we're gonna have like half the people like just getting into fantasy hockey, which is part of the reason why we kind of brought up this topic here.
Yeah,
but I kind of want to do it just for just ranked on hotness. I think it'd be kind of funny. You can kind of figure out like what people's tastes are.
That would be good. That would be really good.
Because I did have our one friend message just as we were recording here. She was saying like, my sister's gonna be out here picking Marchand since he licks faces and he's the only hockey player she knows.
That's good. That's really good. Yeah, like if you're just joining a league that's literally just for fun, like you don't want to be that person that's like trying way too hard.
Yeah,
like I'm the type of guy that tries way too hard in a fantasy league, but then
there's a couple
literally just for funds, like not even for bragging rights.
Yeah,
like what are you doing?
Okay. You know what? Oh, okay. Don't be an ass and screw this up for me.
Okay.
But I think I know for that, like, just for fun one, I think I know what my approach is going to be, actually. Even though it's just for fun, I'm going to take an approach for it.
Draft the lowest ranked player every time just to see what happens.
No, I'm going to go for a team purely of Swedes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
You could do pretty good at that.
I'm going to go Swedes and Canadians, I think.
Oh, Swedes and come on. Swedes and Canadians?
Yeah, it's just like shopping at IKEA.
But like there's so many no, Canadians is too much. Like if you're doing just like an all Canadian team, that's like that's too much because there's too many like way too good Swedish or way too good Canadian players. Whereas with Swedish, like you have some really good players, but like eventually it'll be like, oh man, this is tough. Like who am I going to pick?
Depends.
I don't know. I think you should stick to just Swedish. I think that would be fun.
Fair. Yeah, I'll think on it. It was just an idea I had, but I was just like, oh, I could just go with like a country or like pick, say, like 3 teams, and I can only pick from those 3 teams or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'll do one where like
give myself only the Pacific Division.
Yeah. I think I might try and do one where like all the players that last name like starts with the same letter or something.
Oh, I got an idea. You have to go alphabetical order from last name.
Yeah.
So like your first guy has to start with an A.
Ooh. Oh man.
So like you might be taking Zach Aston Reese in the first round.
I'm pretty sure we could come up with
the second round you get Patrice Bergeron, right? Like
yeah. Yeah, that's true. Where or Maddie Beniers.
Yeah.
Technically. Here we go. Okay. Who is the highest ranked player with an A last name? Barkov is actually up there for B, but that's
there you go.
Obviously not an A. Sebastian Aho? That's not bad.
There you go. Yeah, that's pretty good. Depends on which Sebastian Aho you're taking, though.
Oh, I would make sure and get the right one. Yeah.
Obviously the one from the Islanders, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. That would be a little bit tough. And like you obviously wouldn't even get through the whole alphabet because most
but it would be just kind of fun to do.
I think I would pick like a
or if you skip a letter, you can't go back to that letter. Say if you go A to C, you can't go back to take somebody with a last name starting with B.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So you kind of limit yourself that way.
What if I drafted Zibanejad first?
Then you have to go backwards.
Okay. What if I took Aho and then Zibanejad?
Then you're taking the last available pick. Put the limit on yourself and see what you can do.
I think what I'll do before the draft, I'll do like one of those randomizer things and I'll just get it to pick a random letter and then I'll only draft players.
That'd be kind of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Ali says that's a big brain alpha play, all Swedes. Yeah, I mean, because there's lots of good Swedish players, but like
that could be fun.
But like eventually you would run out of Swedish players because other people would also be taking Swedes here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I'm not gonna be a dick and just like only take Swedes for the first few rounds just to mess with you. Although I might take Zibanejad.
Or you do like how like for the say 2016 the World Cup of Hockey, right? You could only pick guys from like that would be for like Team Europe or Team North America. You can only pick Canadians and Americans, so you can't pick Zibanejad or you can't pick a like a Sorokin or Shesterkin.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, doing it like guys under 25 too could be interesting.
Yeah.
Similar to like Team North America.
Yeah. I know the
24. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the no, I think it was 25. Yeah.
Or guys over 30. You could only pick like all.
No, wasn't it 23?
It might have been. Yeah, I don't remember.
It was 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know like the keeper, like the buy-in league that I did last year, it was a requirement to have a rookie on your team.
Oh yeah.
And so it really fucked me up when it was Linus Ullmark and who was the other Boston goalie? Swayman. So when Swayman got sent down and Rask got signed for that little bit there, I had to drop Swayman and I had no other rookies because that was my rookie. And that screwed me up for a hot minute.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, sometimes like you can have some fun stuff like that. But
Fun
sometimes it also
like little
becomes
side rules there.
So, yeah, sometimes that also becomes a pain in the ass too. So
Yeah.
But it just makes it a bit more challenging, right? So like that one was guys who were like, most of us knew what the hell we were doing and trying to make some money and that sort of thing. So
yeah, exactly. One more question from Allie here, and then we'll move on to what's quacking. She says, I literally only know Ducks players, so who else would I draft? If you were taking it semi-seriously, like you wanted to win, I would just kind of
order.
Pick like whoever is suggested up next. Like with Yahoo, it says, oh, this is who, if everybody just picked the best player, this is who you would get next. Like you could kind of just go with that. And then kind of draft on position. So like if you're like, oh man, like I've only drafted forwards and it's round 7, then sort by defense, take the best defense.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So just, there's lots of tools like within the draft room that can help you. You just kind of have to know which ones to use based off of who you've already drafted. So, but you really can't go wrong with best player available. I know people that have won the league by just doing it. Like they kind of just join the league because it needs someone else and it's just for bragging rights. So there's no risk. And they just kind of take the best player available and they don't really change their roster up like week to week. And they've like won or like come very close too. So it's really not a bad strategy. Like fantasy hockey is definitely one of those things you can overthink. So
yeah, for sure.
But like we said, like in the first round, if you just want to take Trevor Zegras, go for it. Yeah. And then once you run out of Ducks players, then you can just, or if you don't want to draft, say, Nathan Beaulieu, then you can just pick best player available.
11th defenseman of the Anaheim Ducks, Nathan Beaulieu.
Yeah. Okay. Shall we get to what's quacking here?
Yeah, sure. We'll go through this.
Sounds good.
All right, so as we talked about at the start of the show, I got another would you rather for you.
Yes. I'm curious to know the animal that you had to look up if it was extinct or not.
All right, so it's not extinct, and it's not going extinct. Luckily.
Endangered, sorry.
Endangered, yeah. All right, so would you rather, and also if you're listening, watching this, feel free to chime in with what you would do as well, or DM us at Quack Report Pod on Instagram and Twitter. Would you rather fight a gorilla every week, not knowing when you're going to fight it, but knowing that you will always survive?
Okay.
Or have every thought that comes into your head become true?
Ooh. I got to clear. So you had to look up if gorillas were endangered.
Yeah, I had to make sure gorillas weren't endangered before we
fair.
have another orangutan incident.
That's fair. I mean, like, it's not like we live where gorillas are rampant, so like we really don't know. But yeah, I was pretty sure they wouldn't be. But so you would always survive the gorilla attack, but like, could I get seriously maimed?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so like
you'll survive no matter what, but
like it could rip out my eyeballs and like cut my
Allie, don't fuck with me here. Allie comments gorillas are endangered. Don't fuck with me here, please. I searched them before. They're okay.
Fight a gorilla every week. Is it the same gorilla or is it a different gorilla every time? Like could week 1 I
don't think it matters.
I like spray the gorilla with like concentrated skunk spray so that I can always smell when it's coming.
Dude, it's a gorilla. You're not outrunning that thing.
No, I'm not saying I would, but like then I could know. So I could be like, does it smell like skunk? And then I can like be on alert, and like ready.
Then you're paranoid before you even had a hit.
Yeah. So is it the same gorilla or is it a different gorilla? Is it like the chicken where it's like boom, gorilla appears?
Let's go with the same one.
Same gorilla.
With the chicken analogy from Family Guy.
So I could mark the gorilla so that I knew it was coming.
Oh no!
I could put a tracker on it.
Sorry, I took a look as well, and Ali's put it in the chat. Yeah, certain types of gorillas are endangered. Fuck.
Okay, this is one of the non-endangered
But
ones.
it's okay. Everybody's surviving this.
Everyone survives. It's the same gorilla.
You're just fighting a gorilla.
Yeah, happy life. Yeah. Okay, so I could mark the gorilla then. I could like put an Apple tag on it or something. What's it called? An air tag? Apple air tag?
Apple tag, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I could put one of those things on the gorilla or mark it in some other way. I could learn its moves. So like I'd probably get messed up the first couple times, but then I could like, dodge and dip and defend a little bit. And I mean, it would suck to like be seriously maimed or have the potential to be, but at least I wouldn't die. Yeah, no, this is entirely hypothetical. You're right. No animals were harmed in the making of this podcast. I don't even remember what the other option is. What was the other option?
Every thought that comes into your head becomes true.
Oh, yeah, no, that can't happen. No way. There's no way.
I love that. Wait, no.
Yeah, yeah. Like the amount of shit that goes through my head, like throughout the day. Like there's no way.
Give us some examples, Carter.
Well, like even just like the shit where you're like walking down the street or something and you're like, you know what would suck right now? If someone jumped out from around the corner with a gun and like mugged me or like a knife and like they just stabbed me and ran away. Like that would really suck. That would kind of ruin my day. And then to just have that come true just because my stupid brain was like, hey, it's a little dark over there in that alley. Like you should maybe be careful.
Ali's got it right. Intrusive thoughts be winning.
Yeah. So like that would just suck. Like, did you ever watch Liar Liar, the Jim Carrey movie?
A long time ago.
Like, it's funny obviously because it's Jim Carrey, but like literally everything that he thinks about, he either says or does. Like everything is true, right?
Yeah.
And for what is it, like a day or whatever. So like, and like it's not quite the same thing because it's not like he can only speak the truth. It's just like anything that he thinks about, he just says, essentially. So yeah, no, like that would be awful because then also if you were like, oh man, what would have happened if I picked the gorilla instead of this intrusive thoughts
then
thing?
You get the
then
gorilla
you gotta fight the fucking gorilla anyways.
I didn't even think about that. And there's no guarantee that you survive that.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's an actual fight with a gorilla with death involved. That's awful. So no, I don't want that one. I would regretfully have to take the gorilla every week. Like I honestly, I don't even think like you could have put anything as the second option. The your thoughts always come true option is just horrible. I would never pick that.
See, now for a split second, now this is where it would be horrible if I had that every thought that comes into your head comes true as well.
Yeah.
Because I just thought of like the gorilla just absolutely beating you, like not to death, but just before you're there, right? So that you survive technically. And then, it's like, it's the next week. You don't know when that gorilla's coming back. You are like full on harnessed up in casts in a hospital bed. And the gorilla just busts through the door and it looks like it's about to kick the shit out of you again. And it just goes, I'll get you later. And then walks out.
Yeah. I mean, like at that point, like what more could it do? If I'm in a full body cast in the hospital after a gorilla beating and then it comes back, but I still can't die, then like, what's it going to do? Put me in a second full body cast? Like,
no, then it just like
starts,
starts like taking a knife and just like cutting it'll just like cut part of your nose or something like that. Like just, it's something that you'll survive, but still just like, it still fights you. Basically after week 1, you are fucked either way.
Yeah.
So just book yourself a hospital room and get ready.
Yeah. Also with like the thought one, like, have you ever been like driving on the highway and you're like, it would suck if the wheel just like flew off of this semi in front of me. Then you'd be dead.
You got like the Final Destination stuff going through your head. Like you're behind a log truck and you're just like, what if one of them came off and went through my windshield?
the thought probably wouldn't even finish. I'd be like, what if? And then you'd be dead. Like I would literally last a week with that.
Dude, I
part
wouldn't
of the
even
would you
last a
rather.
day. I'd maybe last an hour. Ali has a great question here. Wait, why does the gorilla have a knife? It's because he's cousins with the orangutan with a sword.
Yeah. Gorillas know how to use tools, don't they? Or is that what separates us from gorillas? Is that we know how to use tools?
Gorillas are. Yeah. No, I think it's speaking. I think is what it is.
Okay.
So, but gorillas can do like sign language and everything like that. So.
Oh yeah.
Gorillas got it up on me. I don't know sign language, so.
Yeah. No. I mean, I know one.
What's that? If you're not watching the video card, just flip me off.
Yes. Okay. Well, I think that's a good place to wrap up this episode. We will get into more Ducks talk next week. I think we'll probably do like a season preview type thing for the Ducks, and we'll do division predictions again another week. And then I think that'll kind of take us to the beginning of the season.
Yeah, we are getting close. Anyways. So yeah. If you guys have anything that you guys want us to cover in these next couple of weeks as well, please DM us or tweet at us or anything like that at Quack Report Pod on Instagram and Twitter. So, and we'll more than likely pick it up actually. So, unless it's like a quick 2-minute topic basically, which even then we might bring it up just for something to talk about. So,
yeah, the season starts October 12th. So we've got 1, 2, 3 episodes to do before then. But preseason starts end of September.
Yeah.
So we'll have some preseason to talk about for the October 5th episode.
Something to at least talk about. So, but that also depends if we can find the streams for it. So
yeah, that's true. So next week we'll either do division predictions or a Ducks season preview. The week after we will do the other one of those two options.
Yeah.
And then we'll probably do preseason stuff because we'll have a better idea of what the roster actually will look like and PTO stuff. And then the season starts. So.
Perfect.
Yeah. So that's good. You don't have to listen to another half an hour segment on Nathan Beaulieu ever again. Hopefully.
I love how much we dragged that out, actually. That's impressive for us. I was like, this is going to be a 5-minute conversation. And then, no. We actually had a discussion about defensive depth on the Anaheim Ducks.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Ali says this is good to know if you're in the Anaheim area. There's a meet and greet on Sunday for 6 and 11 number change.
Oh yeah, right, for Drysdale and Zegras. So I think, I forget where that. I think it's at Honda Center.
That makes sense.
Yeah, for new merch or replacing numbers, I think is what it is. Don't quote me on that one. So
yeah. Well, that is it for us this week on the Quack Report. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can follow us at Quack Report Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We are also on Twitch and YouTube. Just search The Quack Report to watch our live streams there every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. We also have our feedback form down in the description of the episode wherever you are listening. Just click on that, and we would really love your feedback there. I am on Twitter at Carter_Potts, POTTS_97. And Nate, where can people tell you how they're going to defeat this gorilla? I guess I don't know anyone that would pick the other option.
You can do it, of course, at Quack Report Pod, as Carter said, but you can also tweet me on Twitter at Tatenamas, TATENHOMAS.
Yeah. DraftKings, promo code THPN there, and buyraycon.com/THPN, and using promo code THPN15 will get you 15% off. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. We will see you next week on Wednesday. Have a good one.